Okay, so please, if you know you are not speaking, I would like you just try as much as possible to uh, mute yourself. And I don't know if Marina, you can help us mute some persons that are actually speaking on the background. Good. So yeah, good afternoon from Montreal, Canada, for as many of us that are in the North American continent. And for those of us in Africa, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, irrespective of your time zone. And as many that are in South America, I know it's so late in the night now. You are welcome to the 2024 SWiM program. Thank you for as much as possible making out time to be in the program. My name is Harrison, and I'll be one of the co-hosts for today's program. I know you have read about SWiM online, and you have been able to scale to our website to see what we are up to. I just really want to appreciate you for taking your time out as tech across Africa, Southeast America, and Southeast Asia to register for this program. And we are hoping that it is going to be a good experience for you all through the program, right from the beginning to basically when the program comes to an end. I will just take less than 5 minutes to introduce myself and some of the stuff that SWiM is basically all about. And then I will hand over to my colleague to take over from there. So basically what is SWiM all about? It is an initiative from basically the Camera MRI Africa. Camera MRI Africa is the working group of ESMRMB, which is the European Society for Magnetic Resonance in Medicine and Biology. Their duty is basically to see how, as much as possible, they can decentralize the practice of MRI across resource-limited countries. Please, if you know you are not speaking, can you please mute yourself? And that is one of the ground rules we need to establish before we go on with this meeting. If you know you are not speaking, if you know you are in a noisy background, try as much as possible to basically mute yourself. So like I was saying, Camera MRI Africa has this initiative and this big idea to try as much as possible to empower techs across Africa, Southeast Asia, and South America. Like I also said, they are the working group of the European Society of Magnetic Resonance Imaging in Medicine and Biology. So they had this big idea to try as much as possible to standardize the skills of MRI techs practicing MRI across Africa, because they have noticed that there's a big discrepancy between those who practice in, say, Africa and what is also obtainable in the West. And to try as much as possible to bridge this gap and cut off this discrepancy, they came together, a group of friends, they came together to, basically try as much as possible to empower those, those that are practicing in these countries such as Southeast Asia, and then you have Nepal, Bangladesh, and others. And then Africa, West Africa, East Africa, South America. And when we looked at the number of applicants we had this year, we were really encouraged with the number of applicants we had, because it really cuts across those regions that have really been deprived of the privilege of practicing MRI in the highest level. Now, like I said earlier on, their target is basically to decentralize the practice of MRI imaging. And we know that MRI is quite large and big. The practice of MRI is quite expansive. If they are able to decentralize it, they should be able to produce texts. African institutions should be able to produce texts that are producing images. And then when you compare these images to what is obtainable in the West, both could actually stand side by side with little or no difference. And then we also should be able to see, enable best practices across resource-limited settings. We want to see an Africa, we want to see a Southeast Asia, we want to see a South American MRI practice that is comparable with what you could basically get in the West. So that is their big idea, and then they are trying to put this whole idea together. We actually came together in 2023 and we did some techs, about 46 of them in cardiac imaging, and it was a big success. And we are glad because as many of them who partook in the program last year, though it was a little bit difficult because cardiac imaging is not what is not one of the basic imaging you could come across easily in Africa and Southeast Asia and so on. But it was quite a big success, and those we trained last year were able to come back and try as much as possible to train others. But this year in 2024, we are looking at implementing advanced brain images. We know that a lot of MRI machines in Africa are 1.5 and below, sometimes 0.5, sometimes 0.7. Few centers in Africa could boast that they have 3 Tesla and so on. Some countries in Southern Africa and Southeast Asia. Few countries also in Africa could boast of being able to carry out some advanced brain imaging. And when we say advanced brain images, we mean something like fMRI and ASL, arterial spin labeling, and then diffusion tensor imaging, and so on and so forth. So we are looking at being able to first increase this awareness across the different techs from different backgrounds we have across the system. If we could get across the ideas to them, we could basically also be able to train them on this, advanced imaging. And that is what we are trying to achieve this year. So as many of you who registered for the program, you are hoping that we are hoping that at the end of this program, you should be able to freely and able, if you are asked about DTI, if you are asked about fMRI, if you are asked about AXL, you should be able to speak about it. You should be able to say, okay, yeah, we could implement this in our center. And most importantly, if at all you don't have these advanced sequences on your scanners across your practicing centers, you could go back to your management and speak to them and let them know that, okay, this is the sequence we could bring into our facility, and these are the positive sides of it. These are the benefits that are accrued to having such a system in our scanner. And it will be a big plus for us to see techs practicing in Africa being able not just to say they have this, but they are able to use it more effectively and have this research mind to carry out basic research and advanced research across Africa. And then most importantly also, we are also looking at training MRI techs that are highly motivated to reform the practice of MRI across low and middle income countries. And the idea is one person cannot basically run the change that we need across the setting. So if we have different persons rising up from different centers, different regions that are able to bear this light, bear this torch, and carry it across to their centers, to their community, they are able to, reform the practice in their institution, because we have radiographers working in the hospital, we have radiographers working in the academia, we have radiographers working in, in the industry, where we want to see a mindset whereby there is reform right from the grassroots, right from the hospital, right from the teaching hospital, right from the institution of learning, whereby as many reforms that we need in advanced practices, basic practices, are being carried out as much as possible. And finally, I want to also see this collaboration between techs in different countries. Now, the idea is techs in South Africa should be able to collaborate with techs in Nepal. Techs in Nepal should be able to collaborate with techs in Chile. Techs in Chile should be able to collaborate with techs in say Ethiopia, say Kenya, say Tanzania. Now, if we are able to achieve this, because one thing we notice about practicing MRI in resource limited setting is everybody just wants to do things on their own. Nobody wants to come together to collaborate. Nobody wants to come together to share ideas. Nobody wants to come together to improve the imaging standards across centers which they are not primarily working in. So we want to see a mindset after now that techs are able to collaborate in research, techs are able to collaborate in practice, and so on and so forth. We are hoping that by the end of this program, you should be more motivated, even more than me. you should be more motivated than the speakers. And then you are able to carry this torchlight back to your center, train as much as possible those that are under you and those that are even outside your center. Thank you so much. At this place, at this junction, I'm just going to stop, and then I'm going to be introducing you to a senior lecturer in the University of Ghana, in Ghana, sorry, Dr. Nash. And Dr. Nash, I just have to say, you have to take it off from here. He's going to be introducing us on what SWiM is all about, and from there we'll take it up. Thank you. Dr. Nash.
Yeah, thank you very much, Harrison, for your preliminary talk and for the introduction. I hope I'm loud and clear.
You are clear.
Yeah. All right, thank you. So I'll just go straight to the point. SWiM is...
Share this screen or?
Yep.
Okay, 1 sec. Okay. It's there now.
All right, so you can go to the next. All right. Okay, so Harrison has already mentioned that we started off last year looking into cardiac MR, and he has also already outlined the objectives of the SWiM program. So I'll just go straight to how the program or the content of the program is delivered. Basically, the focus is on putting trainees together, MR techs together into teams, and then training them as teams rather than as individuals to ensure that there is networking you establish amongst yourselves and to work together as teams, share knowledge, and then develop the art of working together from that point on. So this year's focus is on brain imaging, and we are looking at advanced imaging techniques such as arterial spin labeling, functional MRI, spectroscopy, and diffusion imaging. So this is how the whole training is structured. We give you foundations of the technique you are coming to learn. So this year, for example, is on imaging. So you'll be taken through the foundations, the principles of MRI focused on brain imaging for the first part of the program, followed by what we call an imageathon, or if you like, call it an observership, where you observe an expert implementing what you have just learned. So when you observe that, it is anticipated that all the necessary questions you would have another session within that period for tutorials where you can ask the necessary questions to clarify anything that you would not have understood during the observership. The same session, we would have another session during the foundational stage where you would have a weekend to interact with someone to help you understand what you did not get yourselves when you're doing the foundation studies. I must mention that the foundation stage is purely self-paced. The online material are there for you to read on your own, and some of them are videos you watch on your own for that first part of the program. And then there's a weekend when we shall interact to answer any questions you may have, based on what you would have read or watched. Of course, also within that same session, you would be given some short assignments to do. So that's the foundation, followed by the imageathon or observership. The last phase, after you've read, you've observed, the last phase is now to implement what you have read and observed. And that's the final stage where you do your practicum. So you'll be given the opportunity to implement the protocols you would have learned at your various centers in groups again. So selected centers that have all the accessories and MR equipment to implement what you have learned would do the implementation whilst others watch, and then you optimize the protocol you would have developed and then apply that on use cases. So that's where the whole project would end. And it is expected that when you have developed and optimized the protocol, you submit that optimized protocol subsequently. You'll be shown where to submit it to, and that will be made publicly available. And so that would be your deliverable in the end. So the protocol plus, a case report will be expected to be delivered at the end of the training. Yeah, can we go to the next slide? Yeah. So I've already outlined the format of the training, and that's what this slide shows, specifying the dates and the durations for each segment of the training. So we've already gone through the readiness stage as the committee working on the program. So you are not involved in the training, in the readiness rather. So where you come in is from the teach stage, where you go through the foundation courses on your own, and then you'll be given tutorial where answers will be provided to questions you may have. Then you try, where you now would observe from experts how to implement what you have studied, and then you use the techniques you've learned. And it is expected that when you have gone through these three phases, you become quote unquote experts to be able to train others. Just like we have experts who were trained last year joining the team now to train those of you joining this year. So the dates and then the durations of each segment are provided on this slide. I wouldn't, go through them. You would have them also in the program guide later. Next slide. All right. So I've already mentioned that you are not being trained as individuals, but rather as teams. So you go through each of the blocks, do all assignments, participate in the observership, and also perform your case reports and then capstone presentations as teams. Subsequently, you're going to be put on various platforms. A WhatsApp platform will be created for each team, where you're going to have a team lead or a team captain and a co-captain from amongst yourselves. So it is anticipated that within this week, you choose who should be your team captain and who should be the co-captain. If that's not done by 10th, that's by Saturday, that's this week, we may choose these two people for you. And you're also going to have a senior person on your platform, which could be any one of us doing the presentations now. And the person is supposed to attend to concerns, challenges you may have on the platform. But of course, that candidate or that person is not going to be very active in your discussions. You are supposed to navigate through the questions and assignments given to you to do. The person only comes in when there are specific challenges and the need to, intervene. That's when that team supervisor would come in. And so various assignments you'll be given. Later, there will be a folder that you would access that would have that, which you can then, go through to do. The time commitment, it is anticipated that, yes, we know you are all busy, but of course, not less than 85% attendance is anticipated throughout the course. So do well to plan your activities around this for each block of the training. Yep. Next slide. All right. So most of these I've already mentioned that. So your team supervisor would be a senior person from amongst us. So each team would be assigned a team supervisor. And then from amongst yourselves, you select who should be your team captain. So your team captain would lead all discussions, would also be the connection between the team and the SWiM management or the SWiM committee and then also would be the person to push the team to do assignments and all deliverables you are supposed to submit. If you need any further information about what you're supposed to be doing and submit as deliverables, you might want to refer to the program guide. Where you're not sure or unclear about something, please reach out to your team supervisor specifically, and he or she will be happy to attend to that. All right, so let's go on. Next slide, yes. All right, so at this point, I'm going to pause and introduce Marina Fernandez Garcia as the next speaker. She would talk to you about the training platform that we shall deploy for the entire program. She is the SWiM program manager. All right, so Marina, please take on from here.
Thank you very much for the introduction. And yes, indeed. So as you know, the program will be taking place on 4Waves, and all the relevant information can be found on 4Waves. So if you go on this link, as you have been already to register, you will arrive at the 4Waves page, and it will look something like this. So there's also the live app for your phone in case you want to access the content rapidly from your phone. But yeah, once you arrive at the 4Waves tab, you can log in, which looks something like this. If you have done the registration, your email is already there. You just need to create a password to access the content. In case you forgot your password, there's the option here, get new password, and then you should be able to log in and access all the resources. So yeah, this is what it looks like. There are two ways to access the event, here above, and access the event, or on login. You will have all the access to the Zoom links, like the one you're connected to right now. They will always be provided on 4Waves. The content for the foundational module will be on 4Waves, or linked through 4Waves. So yeah, all the information you need will be either on 4Waves or sent to you per email if not. So once you log in, this is what it looks like. You have here on the left the daily schedule, which you can also access if you press on this little icon on the left here. The participants, as well as who is currently online, and the live chat, where if you have any questions that you think would be relevant for all the participants and your colleagues, you can send it here, and we will do our best to answer them as soon as possible. So yeah, Dr. Nash already went through the program schedule, but I will just go briefly over it again. So for the foundational module, this time it's 3 weeks instead of 2 compared to last year, in case you participated there as well. This is because there's more introductional content. So the first week we'll look at the introduction to brain imaging and give you some neuroanatomy training. Then you will move on to advanced brain imaging, and then to the applications of advanced imaging. Then week 4 and 5 are the imageathon, where we will have the seminars that Dr. Nash talked about. And then there will be 1 week break in between. And then week 6 and 7 will be the practicum, where you will actually apply the knowledge you learned on your own scanners. So it's important to always look at the schedule tab, as here is where all the daily content will be shown most clearly. This is again on 4Waves, on the little icon that I showed before. And also have a look at the program guide that was sent to you per email, because there you will have a layout of the content that will be covered. yeah, all the tutorials will be on Saturdays at 4 to 6 p.m. GMT +1. That's West Africa time. Let me quickly, I will share my screen to show you what the 4 waves looks like. So here you see the login page, and then when you click on access the event, I'm already logged in, so it will just log in directly. As I said before, here's the schedule, the participants, and the live chat. And then if you press here, you have the schedule for today, which is this current meeting where you press here to join. Then tomorrow you already have the day 1 content. So if you press on this, this will be open. And then to access this, you go on day 1 content, which will take you to the GitHub with all the necessary reading and YouTube materials. So here you have the topic and then the relevant document and video. And then the document and videos you can find here by pressing the links. And the references, if you want them, are here as well. And then this is the same for day 2, day 3, and so on and so forth. So again, you press on the link and you will be taken to the GitHub tab. And then here you have all the participants, and you can contact your teammates there as well if you haven't met them on WhatsApp yet. Okay, I will go back to the slides. So yeah, important for this week, as was mentioned, you have to go through the onboarding materials that were sent to you and that are also on today's schedule. Wait, let me show that as well briefly. So if you go on today's schedule, here you have the assignments and the onboarding materials as well. So you have to go through them. And okay, back here. Yeah, like Dr. Nash said, select the team lead and co-lead and your preferred meeting time and day of the week. So once you have decided on a meeting time, please communicate this to me, and then I will add this to the 4-wave schedule, so you can join the link, the meeting link through there. And then very important, it's mandatory to complete the pre-training survey, as this will give us an indication of your current understanding of advanced brain imaging techniques. This is not an exam of any type. It's just so that we know where you're currently at. And then at the end of the program, we will repeat a similar survey to see how you have progressed with SWiM. So please do this soon. It will only take about 5 to 10 minutes to complete. And then as well, it's important that you and your teammates create a WhatsApp forum or some sort of communication forum so that you can quickly communicate with each other. And we will also put all the WhatsApp groups into one WhatsApp community to share any quick information with you. So please communicate your WhatsApp groups with me or someone so that I can add them to the community. Okay, so I think this is it for me. Yes, so next, oh wait, sorry. No, we have the code of conduct. So to participate in SWiM, it's very important that you follow the code of conduct. This includes being an active team player, participating in all program activities like the lectures and tutorials, complete all the reading and lecture materials, assignments, milestones, and deliverables, attend the observership, and clearly behave professionally and responsibly towards any one of your teammates or the coordinators, and just be respectful, of course. And the full code of conduct is on the SWiM training platform on 4Waves. It's at the bottom of the frequently asked questions. And then if you complete the SWiM program and you have been an active team player and you have completed at least 80% of the program activities, preferably all of the program activities, and you are active, the team leaders and co-leads, they will represent the group, but it's clear that all the team members have to complete the training to receive this participation, and we will be keeping an eye on program participation and active engagement to make sure that everyone has completed the training. And if you have behaved professionally and responsibly towards your colleagues and coordinators, then you will receive a certificate that looks like this. And of course, if you have shown very active participation and willingness to cooperate, then maybe if our program expands next year, maybe we will ask some of you to join as trainers, as we have already this year. Okay, so next it will be Tenny Akinwale speaking. She's a PhD student who specializes in CVR imaging, and I'm glad to give her the floor. She's a new coordinator for SWiM as well this year.
Thank you, Marina. Hello, everyone. I said before, my name is Tenny, and this year I'm joining on the SWiM team to act as one of the members of the coordinating team. So I'm here to just introduce the people who are involved in planning SWiM this year. So we have a couple of roles within our team. One of the roles is program director. And this is the person who, or these people are responsible for the overall management and like administration of the program. So they're overseeing the direction and ensuring that, you know, we're meeting our goals and objectives, and they're helping to oversee the development of our curriculum, as you will be going through foundational courses as explained before. They helped in developing that, and just overall team coordination and support. And in these roles, we have Dr. Nash, as you met previously today. We have Christian Montalba, and we have Francis Botway. And the next role I'll talk about is program chairs. So these are people who are involved in overseeing specific parts of our curriculum. So they have been involved in developing the curriculum and will also be involved in other aspects of SWiM, such as the the observership part of SWiM. And these people are Harrison Odulua, and Surendra Mahat. It's hard for me to say names. Sorry. Surendra, and me, myself, Tenny. Our next role I'll talk about is program advisor, and this is the person that provides guidance and support for our program, and they've helped us in planning the program in its entirety and have helped us to address issues and challenges that arise and ensure that we are on track meeting our goals. So this is Dr. Anazodo. As you can see, she's been very helpful so far in planning the program that you guys are going to partake in. And last but not least, we have our program manager, Marina, who has been involved in managing and coordinating our program. And she's the one that will be managing 4Waves and is involved and is the primary point of contact for this year for SWiM. Yeah. Next slide. So as Marina mentioned before, previous members of last year's SWiM have come back to be trainers this year. So we have Jacqueline Tairu from Sonar Imaging Center in Kenya. Sorry, my internet stopped working, so I'm on my phone, so I can't see anything. Yes, so then we have Alexander Alfaro from the Hospital Clínica Bíblica in Costa Rica. We have Jennifer Mifatu from Eurocare in Ghana. We have Nomawetu Busakwe from Philips in South Africa. We have Gonzalo Flores from Hospital National Rosales in El Salvador. We have Adewale Adewo from Diomed Center in Nigeria. We have Korabo Mukwena from Steve Biko Academic Hospital in South Africa. And we have Sekinat from University of Lagos in Nigeria. So we would like some people who participated last year to kind of give some explanation of their experience. So first, I would like ask Jacqueline to come up to give just tell us something about how the experience from SWiM was in 2023. So Jacqueline is a chairperson of ISMRT Kenya, and she is also an ISMRT future leader. So Jacqueline, she here?
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to welcome you all to the MRI SWiM program. Reflecting on my own journey, I know how transformative this experience has been. When I joined the SWiM program last year, I was at a very low point in my career. I felt undertrained, and I really struggled to find the MRI resources to hone my skills. I knew I wanted to improve, and I saw this as a perfect opportunity, so I had to give it my all. The program really exceeded my expectations with the wealth of knowledge it offered. The instructors guided us through every step and even encouraged us when things got tough. Your dedication to this program will be very crucial, but also immensely rewarding. One of the highlights was interacting with other MRI radiographers and experts from all over the world. These are very valuable connections that I have kept until date. This experience was the best decision I ever made in my career, as it sets the tone for my future and even opened so many doors. Most importantly, it has enabled me to confidently pass the knowledge I gained to other radiographers and thereby enhancing MRI education in Africa. As you embark on this enriching journey, I encourage you to make the most of every moment, engage actively, and support each other. The knowledge and connections you gain here will be very instrumental in shaping your careers and also advancing MRI practices in your regions. Once again, all the best and welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Really appreciate it. That was awesome. So now I want to ask if Gonzalo would like to talk about his experience. He is a medical technologist in radiology in the Hospital National Rosales in El Salvador. So is Gonzalo here?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm Gonzalo from El Salvador. And well, I talk more in Spanish. I don't talk English so much. So para los latinos que estamos aquí, pues bienvenidos. Mi nombre es Gonzalo Flores, yo soy de El Salvador. Estuvimos trabajando el año anterior en lo que fue el Skinny With Me de cardio, y pues fue una experiencia muy bonita. Trabajamos con distintas formas, nos dimos cuenta de que, bueno, con nuestros compañeros teníamos muchos caminos o formas de realizar una resonancia. Conocimos el mejor camino, conocimos cultura de cada uno de los latinoamericanos. Siempre tuvimos el apoyo. Les puedo decir que no tengan miedo de que nosotros casi no manejamos el inglés o alguna cuestión así. Cristian, Marina son unas personas increíbles que han estado a la par de nosotros todo el tiempo y nos guiaron. Yo tengo unas imágenes acá, no sé si puedo compartir, Marina, mi pantalla.
Sí, un momento, déjame que te dé permiso. Vale,
Okay.
a ver.
Marina, if you basically understand him, is it possible you interpret for those who are basically not Spanish speakers for like 2 minutes? You don't need to say everything.
What he said so far?
Yeah, no, when he's done, you could just summarize for like 2 minutes.
Sure.
Okay, that's fine. Great.
Ok, entonces esto es un poco de la presentación de lo que nosotros hicimos el año pasado. Estos fueron el grupo con los que trabajamos, unas personas increíbles, personas de Costa Rica, El Salvador, Perú, Chile, y fue una experiencia única. Teníamos un grupo y creo que va a ser la dinámica de este año donde podíamos ver todas las clases, incluso clases que estaban o documentos en inglés, pudimos traducir y enviarlos en nuestra página, entonces con esa cuestión no se preocupen. Tuvimos el acceso a un simulador, tuvimos el acceso a toda la información del curso y pues creamos nuestro círculo de experiencia, ¿verdad? Tuvimos un acceso a un simulador súper genial. Pudimos ver cómo todos llegamos a un punto de planeación y construir el mejor camino entre todos. Y pues acá tengo unas imágenes de nosotros trabajando el año pasado, ¿verdad? No son las mejores, pero ahí estamos, un poquito estresados, pero estábamos trabajando súper bien. Entonces, al final logramos conseguir todos los objetivos del curso pasado y eso es todo. Bienvenidos. And that's all. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Sure, I can give a brief recap. No, so he was explaining about his experience in SWiM and how he saw that depending on the different clinic and different countries, they had different what's it called? Different protocols, and they were together able to determine which protocol works the best. He was saying that even though the content is primarily in English, he was happy with the content that he got, and he had Christian and myself to provide help or answer any questions that maybe were unclear, and that he's encouraging the new participants from coming this year to take on this year and to work together in the group, and that it will be good. Yeah, I hope that summarized it well.
Denny, is up to you now.
Okay, I will go back to the PowerPoint.
Yeah, I'm basically done. Thank you so much, Jacqueline and Paulo, for giving us some insight into your experiences. I really enjoyed hearing what you guys had to say. And I really hope that, again, you guys take from what they said and immerse yourself into the experience, and try to gain as much as you possibly can. And me too, I'll also try and gain as much as I possibly can from these next few weeks. And yeah.
So you want to introduce the next speaker?
I think basically it's the group photograph. Oh no, I think if Christian is there, Christian is supposed to do the closing before the group photograph. Yes, if Christian is there.
Okay, do you mind if we give like 1 or 2 students like 2 or 3 minutes or 4 minutes for them to ask any burning question in their mind, so that we could basically clear them out, and then Christian will conclude, and then we take the group photograph, and then we go.
Sure.
So I'd like to take 1 or 2 questions from us. For anybody that has any question from the foundation phase to the observership, and then to the teach phase. If you know you have any question and you would like to ask, please basically do us a favor and we'll be glad to answer you. And we hope the explanation so
Yeah,
far.
as Harrison said.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Christian. Okay, Christian, you can go ahead.
No, just closing words. We are very welcome, everybody. So we are expecting to be participating in each session. So we are very open to answer all your questions and have fun. That's the most important thing, where everybody is learning here. So there's no silly questions. So take advantage of this kind of program, like Gonzalo and Jacqueline said. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Marina, it's up to you.
Yeah, if anyone has a question, they can just unmute themselves or text it in the chat. But I guess there are no questions, right? Anyways, if questions come up, you can always text them on 4Waves or send us an email. But yeah, then we will move on to the group picture. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Okay, I see there's a question. How are we being grouped? So there's a document that was sent to you per email. There, your name should appear in one of the 10 groups, if I remember correctly. And those will be your teammates and your team coordinator and chair. And I think your team coordinator or chair will reach out to you to create a WhatsApp group, and you can start discussing your first tasks. Yeah, so Chiyoki, your question, I hope, was answered. And yeah, if there are no more questions, please, everyone, I would like to ask you to turn on your camera so we can do a group picture, just to mark the inauguration of SWiM. I see another question. If each session, do you mean in the observership? The foundational content is self-paced and will just go on your own time. It should take about 2 hours per day. But then the seminars will be between 1 or 2 hours, depending on the content. Okay, I'll just do the picture first, and then any other questions I can answer after. So please turn on your camera. Okay, so please smile. It's not doing it. No. Wait. Okay, no, sorry. Smile again. Okay, one more just in case. Okay, one more because there's 2 tabs of people. And one last one for good measure. Okay. Great. Thanks a lot. Can turn off the camera if you prefer. And I see Someone said they didn't get any document. Okay, the documents will anyways be on 4Waves. I will just update them in case something is missing. But yeah, please check on the 4Waves on today's schedule. All the links should be there. And the daily program material, you can click on each day's schedule and or the link should be there to access all the content.
I think we should also stress that the Saturday seminar is very important. You know, Saturday tutorial is very important for them. That is not self-paced, they have to be available for that. And it counts to their attendance.
Yes. So please have a look also on the Saturday Zoom link and make sure to attend on time. The recordings will be made available, but especially on tutorials, it's collaborative, so please be there. And yes, the team confirmation is on 4Waves, I think, but the document needs to be updated, and I will do so soon. Okay. Thank you very much. I will stop the recording now.